Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Supergirl. So let's start talking about this episode. So with this episode, we get to learn a little bit about Livewire. If you guys don't know Livewire, she was in the animated shows in the 90s / early 2000s, and then also became a comic book character. Now, in this show, Livewire actually works for Cat Grant, and she ends up getting demoted because she was talking badly about Supergirl on the radio on her show. So now she's demoted as a traffic reporter, and during her late night or early morning traffic reporting, there's a big electricity storm, a big storm, and Supergirl's trying to save the day and ends up getting electrocuted, and Livewire gets abilities because of it. So the whole episode's about Livewire trying to get to Cat Grant and, of course, trying to defeat Supergirl at the same time. Livewire is able to be defeated, but along the way we get to see, really to learn a little bit more about Cat Grant, and seeing a little bit more of her heart. And also Cat learning a little bit about Kara's past. Also in this episode we get to see, it's a Thanksgiving episode, because they did shift the episodes because of everything that was happening. The last episode, or the episode that was supposed to air, had bombings in it, so they wanted to switch it. Also NCIS did the same thing, which is totally understandable, and really there wasn't anything spoiled here, which I was very happy about. So even though they did switch the episodes, it didn't really feel like they switched out the episodes, only if you knew it from the news. But the episode that was supposed to air is actually going to air next week. Anyways, this is a Thanksgiving episode, and we get to see Eliza, who is Kara's foster mom and Alex's actual mom. And we see that Eliza's very hard on Alex, and we understand why she's so hard on her, because she always felt like she had to be easy on Kara because she's a girl from another world. She wants to be easy on her, but she's hard on her own daughter because she is her daughter. So it's kind of this interesting relationship. But we also learn that Eliza has some connection to the DEO, or at least Jeremiah, who is played by Dean Cain, had connection to the DEO. And it seems like Hank Henshaw is a bad guy, which we've already known because of the red eyes, and also, if you know his comic book character, he's not a hero, he is a villain. Which is interesting now, because now Kara and Alex are in the know, and they're like, alright, now we gotta watch Hank Henshaw. Now they're kind of moles in a way. They are working in the DEO to find out why they're bad, or at least why Hank Henshaw is bad, which is kind of a different formula from like Arrow, and even a little different from Flash. Maybe they're against a total DEO, where Flash was just more against Harrison Wells. Or maybe it could be exactly the same as the Flash is only going to be against Hank Henshaw. But I'm very interested to see where that story goes. And we also get to see some romance in this issue. Wynn, of course, wants to be with Kara, and Kara's kind of totally oblivious to it. And James is in this episode a little bit, showing that he's gotten back together with Lucy. And it seems like we'll probably get Lucy in the next episode, but we were supposed to get her this week from the episode that's going to air next week. But what I think about the episode, totally. I really liked Livewire as a villain. Really liked the action in this episode. That's kind of been a complaint for me, the way they used the wiring and the flight, and I thought they actually had some really good action scenes in this episode, especially Livewire. The visual effects for Livewire were really well done, and I like that they used her powers like we've seen in the comics, that she goes through electricity, and it flowed really well throughout the episode. So Livewire was a really perfect villain of the week villain, and I thought she was a bit different from the other villain of the weeks, because we actually get a backstory with her, and hopefully we could get to see more villain of the weeks like that, because you tend to care about the villains a bit more, and Livewire I want to see again, because you have that backstory, you want to see her grow. So I was very impressed of how they built up Livewire, because that's always been a complaint with Flash and Arrow. Sometimes they're villain of the weeks you have no connection to, and it feels a bit repetitive. But here it didn't feel as repetitive, because there is a backstory with Livewire and a connection to our other characters more. So I was very excited about that. But also this episode, it doesn't progress the plot as much, but I think it's definitely more of a character development episode, especially for Cat. I was very impressed with Cat Grant here. Of course, you always have her snarky remarks, but you see that she actually wants to learn a little bit more about Kara. And I don't know, I feel like in the back of her head she knows she's Supergirl, but obviously is not admitting that. Of course, my secretary assistant is Supergirl. She's not really thinking about that. But I think kind of like what James Gordon knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but never really actually wants to admit it. So I think that's the status that Kat's in right now. But I like that Kara was able to open up to Kat, and Kat was able to do the same thing. I'm really, really enjoying Kat Grana's character, because she really could just be that snarky character, but she's more than that. It's only episode 4, and we're really seeing her grow and kind of seeing these multi-dimensions with her. We also learned a bit more about Wynn in this episode, that his father's in jail. And if you guys haven't heard the casting announcement, and if you don't know much about this character, has to do with in the comics, his father is actually Toyman, so that's going to be a lot of fun to see. But you feel bad for Wynn, because he just wants to be with Kara, and it's just not working out, because Kara is head over heels with James, which again, I think we'll get to see a little bit more of Lucy and James in the next episode. I hope so. I'm really excited for Lucy's story. Which, as you know, I'm a big fan of Sterling Gates' run from Supergirl, which had the Superwoman story. So I'm very excited to see what they do with Lucy. And I think they'll go the Superwoman route in the show. And also, of course, it's great to see Helen Slater as Kara's mom. And I like kind of these complicated relationships they had. I feel it could have been so easy to just say, yeah, I accept all my daughters, of course. But you see that she has a different relationship with both her daughters. One that is actually blood related to her, and one that's just an alien. And I like the way that it's definitely a learning curve. You're seeing exactly where these relationships are going, and I really like that aspect. I hope we get to see more of Helen Slater as the show goes on. I'm sure we'll get to see more of her in flashbacks. Really like the flashbacks here too, because we actually got to learn more from the plot, oh my god, and actually see a lot of fun moments with Kara and Alex being younger. So the flashbacks were really well done in this episode also. So overall, I thought this was a very solid episode. My only real complaint is that I think the Livewire fight was a little too much extended. There could have been probably a scene that was cut out of the Livewire fight, and not just like the final fight. It just felt like her coming back and forth was a little bit much. So that I felt extended a bit too much time, where they could have fit other story in. But overall, like I said, very solid episode, and a really good Villain of the Week episode. Again, I tend not to be a huge fan of Villain of the Week episodes, but you have to do it in a first season show like this, and I think Supergirl so far has handled the Villain of the Weeks even better than Flash and Arrow has in the past. So like I said, very solid episode, and it doesn't seem like this episode really spoiled too much for what's going to happen next. Which also gives me, a little bit of a disappointment, because like, oh, I guess nothing really happened in the next episode, but we'll have to see when it airs next week. So if you guys enjoyed, this is Comic Uno. Of course, I'll have another review for Supergirl next week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.